Walk away from the bullshit in your life.
You see qi come up all the time in the internal martial arts, and people have different opinions of it, whether it's real or whether it's not. To me, if you don't have qi, then the art doesn't work. There's nothing you can do. It's not a metaphor for breath. It's an actual substance that's built inside the body. But at the same time, I'm not of the belief that you hit your opponent with the qi. Certainly not Baguazhang's main principle. Maybe there's some people at a very high level that could take it to the level, but let's assume we're not there.
Oh my God.
So just to summarize, really, Baguazhang's body method, we need to look at this understanding of really how qi and the 8 regions of the body, 8, it's Bagua of course, how the 8 regions of the body and qi come into play. The simplest double palm change would simply be this. Yeah? There's all kinds of different variations on it. There's something that changes height, like this, and what is happening is the posture as it changes is directing the qi inside, so the qi can mobilize in those spaces to change my body, right? You then take this and extrapolate it out into more complicated palm changes so that the pressurization inside the center of the body is what is creating the shapes inside, so that my Bagua mobilizes this force inside. And this is the body method for Bagua. It's quite complicated, but it's not complicated in a coordination way, you know. There are big, large movements in Bagua that take a bit of learning and stuff like that, but it's not where Bagua is complicated. The complication of Bagua is learning to build the qi, integrate the yi with it, and then mobilize it within these spaces so that it can shift around the 8 sections of your body, basically. And you'll find that most of the Tai Chi classics, Bagua classics, if you know how to read them, this is what they're talking about, yeah? Is we're using the qi within our own body to create change. So every art has a body method, and some arts' body methods will be based on coordination or getting stronger or flexibility or something like that, whereas other arts, the internal arts, are based upon the development of qi. So Bagua's, essentially, if I take like a standard position in Bagua, this position we often use in the circle walk-in, divides the body up into 8 harmonized sections, okay? They call them the 8 directions. Now, the 8 directions, sometimes people misunderstand and think it's like a compass, you know, like north, east, south, west, and then the corners. But that's like a 2-dimensional compass that we might use in forms of feng shui or something like that. But in Bagua, it's actually a sort of more 3-dimensional. So the 8 directions are above and below, okay, up and down, and then it's front and back, okay, and then left and right, and then it is outside and inside is the 7th and 8th. So the idea is essentially that the 8 directions must be separated so that they are paired, so that you always have one part of the pairing that is, to borrow Tai Chi's terminology, full, and another part of the pairing that is empty. And what happens is the differential between full and empty causes the qi to move. So it's done like this, okay? First of all, you have to have enough qi. So you have to have done the qigong, or negong, or whatever you have within your system to build it. And then I must have integrated my mind into the qi so that the two can sort of coagulate. The yi and the qi must come together. Okay? The power of the qi is not the yi leading it. The power of the qi is the yi integrating with this energy as you build it. And then I use this qi to reshape the body on the inside. Okay? And I use the posture. If we look at the main posture of Bagua, okay, it's got a little bit of a fighting stance kind of shape to it, but it's not the most functional fighting guard. But actually, it's used primarily to guide the qi inside. So, for example, if I've separated lower and upper, okay, they say in the classics the bottom or the waist below the diaphragm has to be firm, and above the diaphragm, sometimes they say like fire, like ethereal, or sometimes they say free and spacious. So what I do is I take the lower hand and I use it to guide the qi. So the qi goes down. I did it quite fast there, so it's quite a lot of force, and fills the bottom. So right now, the waist area is very dense because I'm using the posture to direct the qi down, and now my upper body is free, okay? Then I differentiate back and front, so I angle the hand a little till I'm separating the back and the front. So now my qi is pushing to the back. So the back is full, the front is empty, the bottom is full, the top is empty. Then I take this hand, and I rotate it a little, So the chi pushes to the left. So now left and right is differentiated. And then when I open out like this and song in the middle, then the chi pushes to the extremities, and this opens out to create the difference between inside and outside. And this is really where Baghua's body change method comes from. So what do we mean by chi? I don't mean, and again, I'm not hitting anyone with it or anything like that, and it's not really points. It's not meridians either. The Baghua doesn't use meridians in that way. It's a form of energy that's built inside that if I direct it inside my body, it causes my alignments to change internally. So it pressurizes the lower part of the body. Then I angle a little using my hands to send the chi back. Don't have to use the hands, but it's Baghua's method at the beginning. And then out. So the chi is now pushing from inside my ribs, but it's physical. It's the pressure changing is pressurizing open the spaces in the body. So my chi is not coiling around or circulating through channels. It's pressurizing. It's more like if you hold a balloon and I squeeze one end of the balloon, the other side gets big. Yeah. And what I'm doing is when I send the chi over, the pressure inside my body stretches on that side. So it's not air, it's something else. You know, it's chi. Okay. So now I have that, these 8 parts to my body. This is what I use when I'm stepping and I'm changing, as I'm creating variables inside my body, whatever I'm doing. So as I move my hand, small movements with my outside posture like this will guide the chi to cause it to move around inside my body. So the first thing I need is the 8 directions separated so the chi can move freely. So it's not still a Tai Chi term, double weighting. And then when I turn my hands like so, the chi will change inside my body to create a fluidity inside the middle of the torso as I'm moving, right? So then essentially the Baghua starts small. Starts with 2 key exercises. Single palm change, meaning that the chi within the 8 regions of the body, the 8 direction, is mobilized on one plane. So single palm change will always be something like this. One plane, horizontal plane, yeah? And you get different versions of single palm change. You get more complicated ones where the body turns, but still always on a single plane, you know? Then you will get double palm change, which uses horizontal and vertical at the same time. Double meaning 2 planes of movement, yeah? So, sorry, it's kind of hot. I'm actually under the sun in Nevada, so it's quite hot work. Even showing you that is quite hot work.
We're doing the Negong where you're in your crown, which is, you know, up here between these 2 points.
Between the horns.
Between the horns. And you're organized over your heels, like, you know, like Joey always says to do.
Going to your horns.
And then you're
I don't think he's gonna be happy.
expanding through. Ah! He's turning me. He's rotating me.